Hello, RBCBB Nation. I am your host, Louisiana Tech, Nichols, Commish, guy who is late with scores, whatever you want to call me. And we are here for the first ever Maui Invitational selection show. And boy, is it going to be a good one. So let's explain it again as the camera focuses. Hey, cameraman. Hello? You wanna stay focused? Thank you. So let's explain how this works again for those who don't know. The Maui Invitational is a tournament of 8 teams picked randomly throughout the RBCBB. So it could be anyone from who finished first last year, our national champion who finished last year. It could be anyone in the league that goes to Maui for this invitational tournament. And basically, you fight it out. The top 8 seeds, it'll be drawn randomly. First seed will be first through 8th seed. And then, yeah, those teams will face each other. Cameraman, focus! Thank you. So let's just jump into it. So here are our teams for the Maui Invitational. Let's go through them all. Alabama, Arkansas, Boise State, Boston College, Brown, Bucknell, Cal Poly, Cincinnati, Colorado, Eastern Illinois, Fresno State, Georgia Tech, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana Tech, that's me, Missouri, Montana, Nichols, that's also me, North Carolina, North Dakota, Northern Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, Portland State, Purdue, Southeast Missouri, Tarleton, TCU, Texas A&M, and Washington State. Now, I picked 6 teams already, but I forgot to shuffle. So let's shuffle a couple times and spin the wheel. Our first team definitely hasn't been picked before. Our first team will be Missouri, right on the line between them and Bucknell. Missouri, been a great participant of the RBCBB. Their coach has won a championship. They won a championship in season 12, so not too far removed from a championship. They're getting a bit more removed from it, but they have always been a great contender in the national tournament, and so we'll have to see how they do in Maui. All right, here we go for our second team. Missouri, the first one. Let's see who's number 2, and that'll be Cal Poly, our defending national champions. We have a good bracket so far with 2 national champions in the bracket. Might as well get them all, right? But Cal Poly had a great run last year in the tournament. Of course, got the national championship, and so we'll have to see how they do here in Maui. Can they repeat? Not only for Maui, but for the entire national tournament and the entire season as well. All right, let's shuffle it a bit again and then spin. And let's see who our third team will be. And it looks like Cincinnati will be our third team. Cincinnati has been a quiet contender in the RBCBB. They've been here since the beginning, or since the second iteration of the RBCBB. And they have just been kind of underdogs through and through. They've made a couple runs, but none too far. They don't have any Final Four appearances. I don't believe they have a conference championship yet. No, they do not have a conference championship yet. They don't have an NIT tournament yet, and they don't have a national championship yet. So it'll be very interesting to see if Cincinnati can pull off the Maui Invitational. All right, let's shuffle it a bit again and spin. Our fourth team for the Maui Invitational will be Eastern Illinois, Purdue. Sorry, that got me a little bit. Purdue, another national champion. That's 3 in the same bracket. Cincinnati's gonna have to fight a little hard for this one. Purdue, been a great player in the RBCBB, was also coaching Indiana State, who I believe won the national championship, but now they are solely focusing on Purdue. It's going to be interesting to see how they can do in the tournament as well. It's going to be interesting to see how all these teams can do in the tournament because it's just so stacked. So good luck, Purdue, in the Maui Invitational. All right, that is half the bracket. Shuffle and spin again. Our 5th member of the Maui Invitational will be Fresno State. Now, Fresno State is a relatively new contender to the Maui Invitational. He's actually a viewer of my YouTube channel, Future. So this is his only league that he does for Retro Bowl. He's thinking about maybe doing a second team. I've tried to get him in the RBCDL, but he's like, nah, I'm good. So Fresno State, Future, good luck in the Maui Invitational. He's made a couple runs. He made a run in the NIT a couple seasons ago. Unfortunately, was knocked out in the finals and lost out on that championship. But hey, who knows? Maybe he can win the Maui Invitational with 3 national champions. So good luck, Future. All right, our next team will be, after a couple shuffles and a spin, Alabama will be our next participant in the Maui Invitational. A relatively, I think this is his like second or third season. Brady is the coach's name. He also runs Baylor, I believe. Yeah, he's been doing a fantastic job. No, he used to run Baylor. He only runs Alabama now. So focusing on the Seoul school, kind of like Purdue is doing. He's been in contention a good bit recently. So we'll have to see how he does here in the Maui Invitational. It's really anyone's tournament. Just because there's 3 national champions doesn't mean they're going to win. It might be a higher chance that it's Texas, but who knows? Good luck, Brady and Alabama. We'll see you in the tournament. Our next team will be Boston College. Now, it's funny because if we go look at the chat, Russell was like, hey, I want Boston College to be in there. Brady was like, hey, get me Alabama in there. So the 2 people that wanted to be in the tournament, congrats, you're in the tournament. Boston College, again, relatively new along with Brady, have been making strides in their Retro Bowl journey, and this is one of the leagues they're in, and they've been doing a pretty good job. Boston College, I don't think it's gone into any big runs in the tournament, but they have been there. They have gotten a couple upsets, so we'll see how they do in Maui. Alrighty, our last team. Let's shuffle it up. Let's spin, and the last participant in the Maui Invitational will be Tarleton. Now, Tarleton has been a silent participant in the RBCBB. He hasn't really done too much. He has himself a conference championship from a couple seasons ago, and he's made runs, but he's always had that one bad game in the middle of the tournaments, and he hasn't made it to the Final Four. He hasn't won himself a national championship. So hopefully, and he's come so close to NIT championships before. So hopefully this will be his spot in the Maui Invitational. And that rounds up our order. All right, so now that we have our 8 teams, I will be using Challenge to create the bracket. And as you just saw, I will be randomizing the seeds. I need to put in Retro Bowl, because it has to have a game name. So let us see the bracket. Boom. And we have Boston College versus Alabama, Cal Poly versus Tarleton, Missouri versus Fresno State, and Cincinnati versus Purdue. And here is the Maui Invitational bracket with I was testing stuff. So again, Boston College versus Alabama, Cal Poly versus Tarleton, Missouri versus Fresno State, Cincinnati versus Purdue. Good luck, and let's have some fun.